let them slut shame a Miss America now in 2024. Oh, honey, they will shut the Miss America down. Oh, what, you mean to tell me my Miss America can't open her vagina in a picture? Are you slut shaming? It's a new day. It's a new dawn. And them Gen Zs, they're feeling good.
I don't hear nobody out there.
Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment respectfully. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's begin talking about Miss Carmen. Y'all, this is good. This is good. On December 23rd, 2 days after I was born, Papa Lenny and his friends arrived at the hospital, pissy drunk, reeking of whiskey and cigarette smoke, with the intentions of giving us a ride home. Needless to say, Shasha refused to leave with him and his cronies, so they eventually left. The next day, the same hospital that we had just been discharged from was now calling to inform my grandparents that Papa Lenny had been in a terrible car accident. My father lost 2 friends and came extremely close to losing his own life. After breaking just about every bone in his body, Papa Lenny went through 18 months of recovery and rehabilitation, but nothing could put a cap on my dad. Shasha left Papa Lenny when I was 4. By this time, his drinking habit had worsened, and the physical and mental abuse was entirely unbearable. He had a hard time letting us go and adjusting to life without us, and would often show up at Shasha's place of business unannounced and inebriated and cause a scene. Even then, I knew he was just confused about how to love us. Okay, pause. Y'all, I was looking at that dude that was on that balloon pop show. The one who, I don't know what the hell the internet is doing to people, baby. But when they choose you, they choose you.
You're a little sassy just a little bit. And since you want to come at everybody over here, I'm going to get at you too. You kind of look like a Ninja Turtle. You're not that cute. You need to relax. You stocky as hell.
Well, let me say this, Queen. I'm a licensed plumber.
I do real estate and property management.
I live downtown.
So what you do
I live
nothing compared to
downtown.
me.
I stay by myself, Queen. You know, and you're not even qualified to be even
You
dealing
say
with me.
everybody not qualified.
You definitely not. You know, if anything, it was one of these two. I wasn't even looking your way. You
And
ain't
the one
my
that you
type.
wanted popped
If I
up
seen, that's fine.
So what?
That is totally fine.
Okay.
But one thing about me, I could pull 100,000 on the bank. Can you do the same?
Get this
yeah,
man
you can't
out
do
here.
that. You can't do that though, baby. Yeah,
Let's
in a real
move on.
way.
I felt that the dude was just unnecessarily mean to the girls. I'm not saying that the girls were innocent. I saw how some of the girls were trying to tell him, hey, look, you're turning us off in the best way they could. But he just wasn't accepting it. Okay. Then you had this one girl at the end that I'm like, what the hell does God have to do with this? She was just like, do you believe in God? And he was like, absolutely. She was like, and we can work on this together. Internet was so pissed off with him, they tried to destroy that nigga. But I don't know if the girl was for real, or I don't know if she was fake when she was not seeing what the rest of the young ladies were seeing. But when you have women that can tolerate certain behaviors from a man, it's because they grew up in a tumultuous household. and they know how to maneuver in armor. I'm not going to use the word because Lulu makes me sick, y'all. I'm not going to use the word because sometimes YouTube will demonetize you over certain words. I'll probably say T-Rama. Some people can maneuver in T-Rama because they dealt with it in their childhood. They put up with things that typically women that are considered strong and independent would not. That could attribute to how and why she was able to maneuver in situations later on with Nas, because from what I understand, Nas has a bit of the propensity to like, the liquor. When Shasha left Papa Lenny, we moved in with my grandparents in St. Albans. I didn't see a whole lot of Shasha during this period. She worked nights at a bank and went to school full time. Ooh, that sounds like my mom. You remember how I said that I resonated a lot with Faith when we read the Faith book? Oh, baby, I resonate more with this girl. My mom worked part-time from like 5 to 10. And then she went to her full-time job from 11 to 7. So if I'm in school all day, when do I get to see my mama? You did? It was always great living with my grandparents, who kept an immaculate and strict household. My brother Van even developed a stuttering habit because he was on edge all the time. Life wasn't exactly peaches and cream at Grandma's, but just across the street lived my best friend, Tamika, a slightly chubby girl with a crazy sense of humor, who always took my mind off of anything negative. BFF. We spent almost all our free time together making mud pies in her backyard, having water fights, and playing double dutch. By the time I was 8, Shasha had worked her way up to a better job, and we were able to move into our own apartment in Flushing, Queens. Apartment 7C. In Flushing, I made a new best friend, Felicia, who lived in the building across the street with both of her parents. Felicia and I grew close enough to call each other cousins, and her parents, Imogene and Robert, whom we called Robert, became more like an aunt and an uncle. BFF, her Aunt Maria is my Aunt Maria. By the time I turned 10 years old, I had learned how to cook, clean, do laundry, and the grocery shopping, and take the bus across town to visit my grandparents, which wasn't too often, but as often as Shasha would let me. Same thing here. By the time I was 10 years old, I knew how to maneuver in D.C. like the back of my hand. That's why I say these Gen Zers be so soft. Okay, but you better not tell them they soft. I swear to God, because they will cry and cancel your ass. On occasion, Papa Lenny would show up. He had relocated to Chicago and got married. My little sister, Janine Nini, was born a year later. I couldn't wait to be a big sister. In my early teens, my Aunt Carmen, Shasha's younger sister, introduced me to the Black Spectrum Theater on Merrick Boulevard in Jamaica, Queens. Their after-school curriculum gave my natural energy a dramatic focus and lent direction to my creativity. That's when I decided to become an actress or maybe an artist. Vanessa Williams had just been crowned Miss America, so in my mind, anything was possible. Y'all, I remember being in school and them mother hunchies passing out the Playboy issue with Vanessa Williams in it. Here go your Miss America, because we were so proud of her. We were. And then they gonna take her crown because she showed her vagina. Did she show her vagina? Was it like opened up? It was classy to me. But I think she was in a picture. I don't remember them. But let them do some shits like that now. Let them shame a Miss America now in 2024. Oh, honey, they will shut the Miss America down. You hear me? Oh, what, you mean to tell me my Miss America can't open her vagina in a picture? Are you serious? It's a new day. It's a new dawn. And them Gen Zers, they're feeling good. I mean, I'll give it to them. They've accomplished a lot of shit that we couldn't as Gen Xers, but them Gen Zers, they don't play. You hear me? They don't play with you ninjas. I try to stay away from them because I know they got powers that I can't understand. At the time, I was preparing to go to a zoned high school, which I dreaded. When I found out that Art and Design High School was still accepting applications, I immediately pulled my portfolio together, applied, and was accepted. By high school, Tamika and I would type with another girl, Monica, a cute, around-the-way type who could do stand-up comedy for real. She was the only person I knew besides Felicia who didn't grow up in a single-parent household. Her 3 sisters lived with her too. Going over to Monica's house was like visiting the Huxtables, minus Theo. The rock-solid family foundation, the confidence and comfort of knowing that no matter what happened, they would all stick together. No wonder Monica was so funny, I think. She could afford to be. Although I loved fashion and modeling, I was still an around-the-way girl at heart myself. On occasion, Tamika and I would get into physical altercations for whatever reason, and we always came prepared. We wore razors in our ponytails just in case, and kept a jar of Vaseline on us at all times. Didn't I tell you, New York women's, that y'all are far too aggressive? I mean, I ain't saying that that's not what DC, well, maybe the South Side had it, but y'all, I was from Uptown. That's not my ministry. I ain't walking around with no damn razor blades in my mouth and in my ponytail and you know, flicking that shit out and trying to slice up somebody. I don't do that stuff. Leave that to them other people over there. We weren't looking for trouble, but somehow trouble always found us. It was better to be safe than to be sorry. On the weekends, we were formed for our jobs at Fine Fare, a supermarket on Merrick Boulevard. The part-time work kept me in Guess, Benetton, Nike Uptowns, and bamboo earrings. On Saturday, while at work, I met a cutie pie named Cory. He was more than a few inches taller than I was, with a caramel complexion, a mouth full of gold teeth, and a smile you'd die for. He wore a fresh haircut and crisp sneakers. He knew Tamika from the neighborhood and tossed her a nod. Then he turned his attention to me as he approached my register. "What's your name, shorty?" he asked. "Carmen," I replied. "My name is Cory. Cory D. You want to be my new girlfriend?" Was he kidding me? "No, I just met you," I replied, rolling my eyes. He pulled out a big wad of money and paid for his items. After I gave him his change, he said, "You're going to be my girlfriend. Watch." He would have got me. He would have gotten my ass with it, even though the trick-a-boo-boo was this. A lot of dudes back in the day, they used to carry around the same wads of money and used to like spend it in front of the girl or flick it out in front of the girl. "Yeah, I got money, baby. It ain't no problem. It's nothing. I got money." So all the while, the dumb girl, meaning me, is thinking, "Ooh, I'm about to get me some of that money." Psych-a-boo-boo. No, all he did was pull it out and spend it on himself. When I realized it, I was like, wait a minute. This is the same trick all the other ninjas be pulling. Like, if I'm with them, then I'll reap the benefits, you know, but it wasn't a great benefit. It was more so a trick so that a dude could get you to surrender to him early. And it worked until it didn't. He reached over the counter, grabbed the back of my neck, and pulled me towards him, pressing his mouth on mine. I pulled away and tried to regain my balance. My manager started yelling and cursing at him in Arabic. "What the F?" I yelled. Cory just laughed. "I'll be back, Carm." After my shock wore off, I found myself a little turned on by Cory's cockiness. Recklessness gets me every time. So we eventually hooked up, but we never became too serious. Cory was a little too wild for me. Every day it seemed he was either involved in a shootout, in the emergency room, or arrested on some misdemeanor. He ended up doing a few years in jail for selling drugs. See, Reezy, y'all know what I'm saying, because certain words trigger YouTube and they will demonetize that motherfucker over it. See, Reezy was the newest and hottest fix on the street during this era. By the end of high school, just about everyone I knew either sold C Reezy, had a boyfriend who sold C Reezy, or actually was on C Reezy, though you didn't stay in touch with those people for long. In fact, I met two of my best lifelong friends, Danae and Tarja, on the bus to Rikers Island when we were visiting boyfriends there. Damn, you know what the truth is? That's why none of my relationships lasted. My friends tried to make me feel like I was the problem. I was the problem. But they try to make it seem like I was the problem. It ain't my fault you keep getting locked up and then I lose interest. What you want me to do? Sit around and wait? For 18 months, yes, they wanted you to wait, girl. They wanted your hot ass pastanka to sit down, nay. And that was the problem with Nay, because if you messing around with them dudes, them street dudes, you know they gonna be in and out of jail forever. That's funny. That's why I wasn't built for them. To me, news reports on the alarming C Reezy epidemic in our city seem to be broadcast from a parallel universe. Hustling was a regular job with bigger payoffs than bagging groceries down at Fine Fair. Sure, sometimes violence erupted or jail time was served, but the quick money was worth the risk for guys, and us girls usually stayed out of the trouble. Most teenage girls in Queens entertained themselves as I did, hanging at the mall, picking up the latest fashions, getting our hair and nails done. But my free spirit would collide head-on with Shasha, who worshipped at the altar of education. Ma, why are you gung-ho about college? Remember I told you my mama was like, what you gonna do now? You gonna work or you gonna go to school? I'm up. Work, mama. Good. So now you can go to school and work. I knew that college certainly would distract me from the action and adventure I'd found with my friends. And even more significantly, I saw education as a step on the slippery slope toward having a life without adventure. Shasha became so structured because she had to. Then somewhere along the way, she forgot how to be anything else. Overworking and overextending yourself were for my mother's generation. I had a totally different agenda. It was time to do me and explore the world. It was a year after graduation. Summer had just arrived and I was working at my uncle's law firm. Still hanging out with my friends and still searching for a way out of Queens. I spent most of my free time with my best friends, Tamika and Monica. One day, Tamika and I went over to visit our friend Hassan. Hassan and I had been introduced through Monica, and we'd hit it off instantly. Though not in a romantic way. In fact, we would later discover that we were actually cousins. What a small world. Hassan wasn't home, but his friend John let us in and introduced us to his friend Troy.
Oh, my life.